chosen once. You're manifesting daily, but is it from light or darkness? Every second of your life you're manifesting. Yes, even now. Even when you think you're stuck. Even when you think nothing is happening. Even when it feels like you're paused, lost, waiting for a sign, waiting for a breakthrough. You are still manifesting. But here's the real question. From where? What energy is fueling your creation? Because manifestation is not just technique. It's not just vision boards and affirmations. It's not just thinking positively or scripting your dream reality. Manifestation is a current, and that current flows from either light or darkness. And if you don't know which one you're tuned into, you're likely creating from a place that's shaping your life in ways you don't even realize. You see, as chosen ones, we possess a unique sensitivity to energy. We are built to create, built to shape timelines, bend probability, influence the field. But our power doesn't discriminate. It amplifies whatever we carry within. So if we're vibrating in fear, in scarcity, in unresolved trauma, in suppressed rage, in the need to prove or be seen or be validated, we're still manifesting. But not from light, from shadow. And the results will reflect that. The relationships will feel draining, the money will feel elusive or empty, the opportunities will come and then vanish because the frequency behind them was distorted.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
The truth is, most people are creating their life from their unconscious programming, from pain they never addressed, from beliefs they inherited, from wounds they thought they buried. They think they're manifesting abundance, but it's really validation they're chasing. They think they're calling in love, but it's actually codependency wrapped in a spiritual costume. They think they want freedom, but secretly they fear their own power. And so the universe responds not to what they say they want, but to what they actually are. Because manifestation is not about asking, it's about being. The field doesn't hear your words, it reads your frequency. So let me ask you something. When you visualize your dream life, who's doing the visualizing? Is it your soul? Or is it your ego in disguise? Is it your higher self crafting a vision from alignment? Or is it your inner child trying to finally feel safe? These are not easy questions, but they are necessary ones. Because as a chosen one, you don't get to play with surface-level spirituality. Your energy is too potent. Your manifestations are too powerful. If you don't get radically honest about what's fueling your creation, you will end up manifesting realities that look right but feel wrong. Let's go deeper. Light-based manifestation comes from alignment, from clarity, from coherence. You're not creating to fill a void. You're creating because your frequency is already full. You're not asking for something to prove your worth. You're allowing reality to mirror the worth you've already claimed. On the other hand, dark-based manifestation comes from fragmentation, from lack, from fear disguised as desire. You're not creating with the universe, you're trying to manipulate it. You're not in flow, you're in control. And control is always rooted in fear. So what happens? You might get what you asked for, but it collapses, or it costs you, or it feels hollow, because your shadow was driving the vehicle. That's why so many people feel disillusioned with manifestation. They think it doesn't work, but it does work, just not in the way they expected. Because their inner world was out of alignment with their outer desires. And the universe, in its infinite intelligence, mirrored not the desire, But the distortion, it's not personal, it's mechanical, it's energetic law. If your inner world is chaotic, your reality will reflect chaos. If your unconscious is filled with abandonment wounds, your relationships will mirror that. If you carry guilt, you'll block abundance. If your nervous system is wired in survival, your manifestations will come through struggle. So what do? How do we shift from manifesting in the dark to manifesting in the light? First, we stop lying to ourselves. We stop pretending we're fine when we're crumbling. We stop masking our fear with fake positivity. We stop bypassing our pain with spiritual performance. True power begins in truth, and truth lives in the body, in the shadow, in the parts of ourselves we're ashamed of. Until we go there, until we own those parts, we will keep leaking shadow into our manifestation, and no amount of scripting or visualization can fix that. This is where the work of the chosen ones begins, not in the sky, but in the soil, in the roots, in the shadow. We must ask, what am I really trying to create, and why? What do I believe I'll finally feel when I get it, and can I feel that now before it arrives? Because if I can't feel it now, I won't feel it then. The energy of the journey is the energy of the destination. If you chase your dreams in fear, they will arrive in fear. If you build from scarcity, you will always feel like something is missing. But when you build from wholeness, your life reflects wholeness. When you manifest from light, your reality becomes a mirror of your soul. So I ask you again, you're manifesting every day. But is it from light or darkness? Is it from coherence or chaos? From truth or illusion? Because your answer will determine everything. Frequency doesn't lie. How to clean your field and manifest without resistance. The universe doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to who you are, not the version of you that you show to others, not the positive thinker or the high vibe persona you perform when you're trying to impress the algorithm of reality. It responds to the actual frequency you carry, the one that lives beneath your words, beneath your smile, beneath your goals. And this is where most people get trapped. They think manifestation is about thinking the right thoughts, but it's not. It's about being in the right energy, and energy doesn't lie. Frequency doesn't lie. You can say the right words, but if your body is carrying fear, if your field is cluttered with doubt, if your aura is coated in unprocessed grief, then that's what the universe is responding to. That's the signal you're broadcasting, and that's what you will receive. So how do we change the signal? How do we clean the field? How do we stop creating from distortion and begin manifesting from truth? The first step is radical self-honesty. Not the kind of honesty that makes you feel good, the kind that cracks you open, the kind that hurts your pride, the kind that makes you confront the areas where you're still performing, still pretending, still hoping that your spiritual mask will protect you from actually doing the work. You have to ask yourself, what am I still afraid to feel? What parts of myself am I still outsourcing to the external world to validate for me? What am I trying to manifest so I don't have to face myself? Because truthfully, most people don't want the thing they're asking for, they want the relief they think the thing will bring. They don't want money, they want to stop feeling unsafe. They don't want love, they want to stop feeling unworthy. They don't want success, they want to stop feeling invisible. But as long as those wounds are driving the desire, the manifestation will be tainted. It will either not arrive or it will arrive and not satisfy, and that's not a failure of manifestation. That's the brilliance of the universe protecting you from building a life on a foundation of fear. So we clean the field by going into the fear, not away from it. We sit with the parts of us that feel unworthy, that feel unseen, that feel unlovable. We stop trying to manifest over the pain and start healing through it. Because every unprocessed emotion is a stuck frequency. And stuck frequencies create static in the field. Static bends your signal. It pollutes your magnetism. It keeps pulling in reflections of your wound instead of your essence. Rex Sidler. Woe Bueo, and no technique can override that. Not affirmations, not full moons, not scripting. Only embodiment can. Embodiment means your body matches your words. Your nervous system matches your vision. Your subconscious matches your conscious intention. That alignment is what creates clean power. It's what makes manifestation inevitable. Because the universe is not testing you, it's mirroring you. And what it mirrors back is not judgment, it's data, it's feedback. It's a map of what still needs to be integrated. So every time you don't get what you want, instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what part of me is this showing me? That question alone can shift timelines because it pulls you out of victimhood and into authorship. It puts your hands back on the steering wheel of your reality. Next, we upgrade our language. Not just what we say out loud, but what we whisper to ourselves in the dark. Every thought you repeat is a spell. Every belief you hold is a command to the quantum field. And many of us are still unconsciously hypnotizing ourselves with stories that aren't even ours. Stories we inherited. Stories we absorbed from trauma. Stories we never questioned. And here's the thing. If you're still running an old story in the background, like, I'm not safe, I'm not enough, nothing ever works out for me, that story is your manifestation template. Until you rewrite it, you are casting the same spell every single day. So how do you rewrite it? You embody the opposite. You don't just say, I am enough. You ask, how would I move if I truly believed I was enough? You don't just say, I am abundant. You ask, how would I make decisions if I trusted that abundance was already mine? You stop using words as decoration and start using them as activation. Every choice becomes an expression of your new frequency. Every action becomes a declaration to the universe, this is who I am now. And finally, we clear the field through presence. Real manifestation doesn't happen in the future. It happens in the now. The now is the only place where power lives, and most people are never fully here. They're in their heads, in their past, in their projections. But when you return to the now, when you breathe into your body, when you anchor into the moment, you become magnetic. Because presence is the highest frequency, it's where your light lives, it's where your truth lives, and it's where all creation begins. So I leave you with this. Can you be honest enough to see what's really creating your life? Can you be brave enough to feel what you've been avoiding? Can you be present enough to clean your field and step into a frequency that doesn't lie? Because when you do, manifestation stops being a mystery. It becomes maths. It becomes alignment. It becomes you finally becoming the source instead of the seeker. Beyond the illusion. how the chosen ones collapse false manifestation template. There comes a point on the path of the chosen ones where manifestation becomes less about attracting and more about revealing. You start to realize that what you were trying to create was never separate from you. It was just hidden beneath layers of illusion. Illusions that said you had to earn what already belonged to you. Illusions that said you had to hustle for divine timing. Illusions that told you to be good enough, aligned enough, or spiritual enough to deserve what your soul already encoded into your timeline. And this is where the game changes. This is where the false manifestation templates begin to collapse. Because you're no longer trying to manifest based on the rules of separation, you're remembering that you are the source. Most of what we're taught about manifestation is rooted in lack. Even the most popular techniques often carry the hidden message, "You don't have this yet, so here's how to get it." But the chosen ones cannot live by that model. It doesn't work for us. Why? Because our energy is designed to collapse illusion, not reinforce it. When we try to manifest from a template of lack, even if it's dressed up in pretty language, our soul resists, the field resists, the timeline doesn't open, not because we're blocked, but because we're operating on a lie. And the soul won't allow the lie to succeed, not for us, not anymore. So what do we do when the old templates stop working? We go deeper. We stop trying to manifest through willpower and start manifesting through remembrance. We begin to understand that what we're calling in is not something new, it's something ancient, something coded into us before we were born, something that already exists in a parallel version of us, and manifestation becomes the art of removing the interference between who we are and what's already ours, not attracting, not chasing, but becoming the clearest version of ourselves so that reality has no choice but to reflect it back. Let's talk about interference. Interference is any thought, belief, emotion, trauma, or attachment that creates friction between your current frequency and your desired timeline. It's not a punishment, it's just density, and density distorts signal. Think of it like this. Your soul is broadcasting one message, "I am abundant, I am powerful, I am sovereign," but your unconscious is broadcasting something else. "I'm scared, I'm not ready, I'm not enough." The field hears both, and the field reflects the dominant frequency, not the loudest, not the most spiritual, the most consistent. So, if you're spending 10 minutes a day visualizing your dream life, but the other 23 hours and 50 minutes worrying, doubting, or trying to control, then guess which signal the field will honor. This is why collapse is necessary, the collapse of the false templates, the collapse of the ego that wants to manifest to feel worthy, the collapse of the mask that says, "I'm high vibe," while your soul is screaming underneath. You can't fake resonance. You can't bypass vibration. The field doesn't care about your Instagram feed. It cares about your truth. And this is why the chosen ones often go through intense initiations, because we are here to live from the truth, not just talk about it. We are here to embody coherence, not perform alignment. So here's the real work. Identify every part of you that's still chasing instead of claiming. Every story that says, "I'll feel safe when." Every belief that says, "I'll be worthy once I have." And ask yourself, who gave me that blueprint? Who taught me to postpone my power? Who convinced me that the divine needed proof of my value? Because once you see it, you can collapse it. Not by fighting it, but by withdrawing your energy from it. You simply stop feeding the distortion, and it dies. And then something beautiful happens. You begin to live from your original template, the one written in your soul's light, the one that doesn't manifest from desperation, but from overflow, the one that doesn't chase timelines, but calls them in with ease. You begin to feel the field respond in real time. You speak and life moves. You think and doors open. You rest and the current accelerates. Because now you're not creating from illusion, you're creating from essence. So I ask you, what illusions are you still manifesting through? And what part of you is ready to collapse those timelines for good? Embodied creation, how to manifest from wholeness and become the frequency that changes everything. There is a shift that happens when you stop manifesting from desire and start manifesting from wholeness. It's subtle at first. You don't feel like you're chasing anymore. You're not trying to get anything. You're not working to prove anything or control the outcome. Instead, you begin to remember that everything you were seeking is already part of you. It's encoded in your essence. And when you anchor into that inner knowing, when your nervous system relaxes into that truth, everything around you begins to realign, not because you forced it, but because you became the frequency that made it inevitable. This is the secret that the ancient mystics knew, that the most powerful creators walk with quietly. We don't manifest through effort, we manifest through embodiment. And embodiment doesn't mean pretending to be something you're not. It means fully inhabiting what you already are. It means aligning your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, and your energy with the truth of your soul, consistently, unapologetically, and without waiting for permission. When you do that, your life becomes a mirror. Not a mirror of your fears, not a mirror of your wounds, but a mirror of your wholeness. You don't have to be healed to manifest, but you do have to be honest. You do have to be present. You do have to stop outsourcing your power to things outside of you. Because the moment you say, that thing over there will complete me, you've already stepped out of your power. You've already created separation between you and the very thing you want. But when you say, I already am the thing, and you mean it, not from ego, but from embodiment, then the universe has no choice but to match that energy. Because now, you're not just asking, you're being. You're not reaching, you're radiating. So how do we live like this? How do we walk through the world as a chosen one, fully activated, fully embodied, fully magnetic? First, we make embodiment a lifestyle. Every decision, every conversation, every thought becomes an extension of our frequency. We stop leaking energy into things that don't reflect our truth. We stop spending time in environments that don't nourish our soul. We stop engaging in relationships that require us to shrink or perform. Not because we're better than anyone, but because our frequency is precise and we can't afford to distort it anymore. Our energy is our currency, and every interaction is an investment into a timeline, so we choose wisely. Second, we anchor into the body. Manifestation doesn't happen in the mind, it happens in the flesh, in the breath, in the grounded, rooted presence of someone who is fully here. When you are in your body, you're in your power. You're not spinning in worry, you're not projecting into the future, you're not replaying the past. You're just here. And in the here, miracles find you, because now you're not blocking them with resistance, you're not overthinking, you're not doubting, you're simply receiving. Third, we trust our resonance. If something doesn't feel right, we don't need to explain it. If a path lights up with energy and clarity, we follow it, even if it makes no logical sense. This is the way of the chosen ones. Our intuition is not a whisper, it's a command. Our knowing is not a suggestion, it's a compass. And when we trust that compass more than we trust the noise of the world, we become unstoppable. Not because we're in control, but because we've become aligned with the current that creates worlds. And finally, we let go of the outcome. We don't manifest to get, we manifest to express. We create not for validation, but for the joy of creation itself. Our life becomes art, our presence becomes prayer, our energy becomes a gift to the field. And in that state, the things we once chased begin to chase us. Not as tests, not as rewards, but as reflections of who we become. So I leave you with this. Can you stop trying to manifest your next level and instead become it? Can you live as the frequency so fully that the world has no choice but to rearrange itself in your image? Can you trust that you don't need more tools, more hacks, more teachings, but that you are already the source? Because when you live from that place, not sometimes, but always, you don't just manifest things, you become the manifestation itself.